I'll come back to the original question which I asked you, but let me quickly introduce a guest who has since joined us, Honorable Simon Mwankwon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You correct me if I'm not. He's a member representing Barkinladi constituency in Plateau State. You're welcome to our program this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, viewer.
Good morning. Just to clarify, please, sir, what's your name?
Dr. Simon Mwankwon.
Mwankwon, okay. Just I was almost there.
You're almost there. You're right.
So, in recent times, the Plateau too has seen, renewed attacks, and there have been questions as to. I know that there's been a lot of investment in the security situation in Plateau State. The Plateau is about the only state I know has a peace and conflict resolution. Is it an organization which is, recognized by the state government, was set up by the state government to maintain peace and order, given the long history of carnage on the Plateau right now. But it does look like, it's still not yielding the desired peace. It's like the peace is on and off, or maybe it's a strained peace. Can you tell us precisely what is going on in your constituency and why it would seem that, the attacks are on and off as we currently see it?
Thank you. I represent one of the most volatile federal constituency in Nigeria, Barkinladi Federal Constituency. The killings and attacks in Plateau State are over a decade now. And with the arrival of this present government, the government of Governor Lalong, of course, that committee was set, or an organization. But most of the issues have ended at theoretical seminars, workshops, and so on and so forth. There has not been real engagement with the people, those that are involved in these acts of criminality, if I may say. Most often than not, government will just fix a date, they will invite people, and those people that will be invited are not the people that are affected by the crisis or by the conflict or the killings, whatsoever I want to put it. People, sometimes you see technocrats or bureaucrats in the city centers, but most of these killings are in the villages. And I cannot say exactly why these killings have persisted, but I was one time a local government chairman of Riom. And one thing I noticed was that our security agencies have been polarized along ethnic, religious, and even sectional lines. And within the security architecture of this country, that is the police, the DSS, the civil defense, and so on and so forth, you find out that there are just a few of them that have really come to accept what they are doing as an act of patriotism. You have about 3 categories. I've been able to identify about 3 categories of security agents. The first category is that which have come to defend his religion or his ethnic group or his section where he comes from Nigeria. And therefore, if you give him the job of security, what he or she will do is just to try to see that even when he knows that this person is wrong, and as long as the person is from his religious extraction or his ethnic nationality, will do nothing about it. The second category is that which have come to make money. Whether he's a Christian or Muslim, give him money, he will go and commit act of terrorism or act of criminality. And the last category, unfortunately, is just a few. That is the real patriotic security agent. And you find out that the first categories will always overshadow the last category.
How were you able to come to this conclusion?
Yeah, my experiences with interaction with the security agencies. There was this time, there was an attack in a village in Riom, and I went there as a council chairman to see things for myself. And that day I was putting an agbada with a cap. And then I was shocked that a military personnel, seeing me in that kind of attire, mistook me for perhaps his religion or his ethnic nationality and begin to... He told me that, look, Chairman, I have not come here for any security work. I've come here to defend my religion. He told me to my face. And I reported this issue to the sector commander with the belief that the next day we'll sit and so that we can discuss this kind of persons should not be in the military. Before I know it, in the next morning, I was told that the man has been transferred, that there was an urgent radio message that he should be transferred to another place. And that was how the matter died. I am also privy to the information that some of the people that attack communities will find out ID cards of the personnel, military, in those places. We pick the ID cards, we reported the issues to the commanders, and before you know it, they were transferred. So I came to the conclusion that some of these personnel are also involved in the killings. And my interaction with them too reveals to me that it is only few of them that are patriotic, because you will see the zeal and the urge in them to make sure that the crisis comes to an end. So that's how I came by this analogy.
It's a very grievous, how will I put it now, a very grave conclusion and analysis that you've given. And it's not the first time we've heard it. I mean, just on Friday, we're speaking with PDP chieftain Osita Chidoka, who was talking about how there's been a wedge driven amongst our security agencies when merit is not enthroned within the security agencies, because they, amongst the security apparatus, know amongst themselves the people that are the best and the people that are graduated top. So if those people are not elevated and other people are picked for various other reasons and elevated, then, you begin to, tell the people, send a message among security agencies that is about who you know, where you're from, what your tribe is, etc., etc., what your religion is, and that's what gets you
is based on quota system, which is wrong.
Yeah, so
not merit.
Yeah, so I mean, it is a major challenge, and there will be questions as to how do you begin to correct that. But you said something. I mean, because even though that is a challenge, we still see that there is still some attempt at work, and even within Plateau State itself, it recognizes that it would seem that its own challenges are a bit more peculiar. That's the problems that it faces. The so-called farmer, indigent settler crisis, which has plagued the plateau for many years now. That makes it particularly thorny. And your state government, your state governor has tried to set up an institution to see how we can begin to find solutions locally. You say that is not working because they don't really engage. There are no real engagements. No. I wanted more clarity on what you meant by real engagement. Well, even though you already explained that it's not the people who are really affected that are usually, called into this conversation. But on the occasions where those people actually come, are they able to speak freely? Are they able to say truly what is on their mind, what their fears are? And given a long history of what, of what the problem, the crisis has been on the plateau, what real proposals have there been for lasting peace? Because
well, let me say something about the indigenous settler thing. That is more or less an elitist belief. If you go to the villages, nobody is talking about indigenous settler. It's more of an academic exercise. It's more of an elitist thing within the city center. You can't see it replicated in the villages or in the local governments.
Why do you say so?
Because if you go to my local government, for example, you will see a lot of ethnic nationalities, different people from different parts of Nigeria, different religions, different ethnic groups. They interact, they eat together, they work together, and there's a synergy between all these people. It is only in the city centers with the elites that you find out discussions on indigenous settler thing, and especially when it has to do with an appointment from government. Outside this, it is not seen anywhere. So people have...
So what then is causing it? Because, there are those who continue to...
What is causing it? We have said this time without number. One of the things is an attempt to grab land. Some people really want to take over our land. It is clear. If they said it is a header farmer crisis, you don't rear cattle in the night. But the killings take place in the night. And the whole community will go, they will ransack that community, they will kill women, kill children, shredded these people, and, take them off their inheritance. So it is not a header farmer kind of thing. The header farmer clashes, you see it in the daytime when the farmer perhaps is cultivating his land and the header wants to rear his cattle. And of course, these have been there for long. It's not today. But we've never seen this type of killings. There are communities that do not even have headers. But we find out that at night, such communities will be invaded and people will be killed. So how do you interpret that as header-farmer clash? So coming to the issue of this agency that government have said, that I said it ends mostly in the city discussing, and the people that are affected are not involved. You cannot call a government, staff to come and discuss security issues in my village. The village head should be involved. The ward head should be involved. Youth groups, women groups within the community should be involved. We should be able to identify who and who is not part of us, who and who is causing the problem, and proffer solutions. Not that government will sit down there with an agency and begin to proffer solutions for villages or for problems that the government is not directly involved. So that is where I see that there is a gap. There is need for government to really involve the people that are affected directly, the communities. These communities have community development associations. They have youth development associations, and they have women groups. There are religious bodies. All these people should be involved. But by the time government will just sit down there and just look at some key government personnel, for example, perhaps I may be a commissioner from a particular village, and when such discussion will be held, it is the commissioner that will be brought, or one big government officer, which will not go down to the people that the crisis is involving. So that is the problem I see with this agency that government have set to kind of broker peace.
Let's take a break at this point. I'll come back to the initial question which I asked you about how your organization is taking a look at, how this crisis is affecting the North. And we'll also be bringing in my colleagues from Lagos. Please stay with us.